Woe to you of earth and sea, up the iron. This is Jack here at the Metal Asylum.
And Rich?
Yeah, talking to my boy Rich. Hey Rich, how you doing?
Alright, how you doing?
Just like yesterday when we talked, I'm fucking tired. But good.
That's why we're talking about Maiden, so we're re-energized for the night, right?
That's right, yeah. How can you stay tired talking about Maiden?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, this is take two of those for those of you listening, because we recorded yesterday and then had a recording snafu. So, what are you gonna do? We're gonna nail it again.
Exactly.
Oh, yesterday.
It was, but we know our Maiden and we love our Maiden, so it's gonna be all good.
Right, but we're not just talking about Maiden. Why don't you set us up and tell the fine folks what we're up to here?
Well, for this one, we're focusing on Maiden, but we're focusing on what our favorite choices would be for favorite set lists, what we would really like to hear, but kind of coinciding it with what this Legacy of the Beast tour is going to be next year, where they're trying to do something different with the set list, and then there's like a theme with the legacy of Iron Maiden's history. And then if you look at their album, the tour artwork, and you look in the stained glass windows, there's different clues to different songs that they're going to be playing, both in the images of Eddie and the symbols that are hidden in the stained glass.
Right, and like what are the ones that stand out so far that are kind of, if it's a real clue that we know we're going to hear?
Oh God, it's tough. A couple people are thinking that there's Flight of Icarus is coming back.
Nice.
Lord of the Flies, people were saying from the Blaze albums, but that thing in the stained glass window is not a fly, that's a mosquito. So I don't know if that's happening. So there's little things here and there. There's the Seventh Son Eddie, and then the Peace of Mind, and then the Trooper, and Somewhere in Time. So hopefully that means they're going to be playing something different from those four albums, aside from the usual ones.
But yeah, so part of what we're talking about here, like Rich was saying, we're speculating on what's coming up for the Legacy of the Beast tour.
Right.
But also, we're basically, Rich and I came up with our own set list. When
right.
Bruce Dickinson and Steve Harris called us up and said, hey guys, can you design a set list for the next tour? So, we got to work, and each of us, no, that's actually not true. They didn't do that, but...
But if we could, and we would.
Right, yeah, if you guys can pull together, we'll start a Kickstarter, and you guys can all send us, we can raise a couple million and then make that happen.
Get our ultimate fan set list.
Anyway, so we made up some set lists, what would be our ideal set list for our dream Maiden show, and like Rich said, it coincides with the upcoming tour.
Right, because they're supposed to be doing some different things on this tour. It's a history tour, but there's supposed to be these number of interlocking worlds that cross over from what was going on in the game that this is based off of. So technically, really, the set list should be, I would say more than half of it should be totally different from what they've done in the past.
Which would be nice, because let's talk about, we're going to complain a little bit too, and just so you know, for both of us, this is a band we grew up on, and it's absolutely always been one of my absolute favorite bands. So
absolutely, same with me, and we both jammed on many Iron Maiden songs in the couple of bands that we played in together back in the day.
That's right.
So right. Many times, many riffs and leads and Smith Murray leads that we harmonized together with, and everybody was like, all right, enough. Right?
That's right. Yep. Up to iron. Seriously. So
yes.
So you know what? As we said in our failed recording, and I'm saying it now to you all, please feel free to chime in and tell us where we're wrong, tell us stuff we missed, tell us your own dream set list. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Don't bring the hate. If we diss your favorite song, then live with it. We're not. This is Maiden. We're all in this together.
True, but I think we're all in this together to try and get many of these different songs in the set, because let's be honest, who wants to eat the same pasta dish or the same seafood dish every time you eat it, right?
Right, it's delicious.
You gotta change it, it's gotta be different. Exactly, it's gotta be different shit. So that's what we're talking about here.
Right, well, let's complain a little bit later. Let's get to our set list.
Sounds good.
All right, well, in our recording yesterday, I went first, so So I'll just roll through it really quickly.
Go ahead.
So it ends up, I don't know, it would go a long time. I did the running time of just the songs would be about close to 3 hours. And, you know, for those of you who've seen Iron Maiden, you know Bruce Dickinson, he needs at least 3 hours for all of his inter-song chatter and banter. So, you know, it's great. I'm not saying he needs to stop. You know, he loves to talk. Anyway, so, I mean, I know that this is unrealistic, but anyway. So I hemmed and hawed about the first song, about what would open the night, but I came down to it and I decided Prowler would be first.
That was actually one of my picks as well.
Excellent. Yeah. All right. I mean, it's how the album starts. So, you know, it just seems like the right one.
Right.
From that into Phantom of the Opera. Then, following that, what my other choice had been for the opener is the Churchill intro into Aces High.
Okay.
And then, Rich, you're going to be a little surprised. Well, you're not because you heard this last night, but you would be surprised about the follow-up to Aces High, the Tail Gunner. Which
I thought was very cool. They kind of bookend each other, which is nice.
Well, right. And the thought was the next song would complete the trilogy because it would be Aces High, Tail Gunner, and then Where Eagles Dare. Very cool. I can't argue with that one. I mean, Where Eagles Dare is not the best Maiden song, but it's
so good, though.
Right, it's a great song, and it completes the trilogy of the... I mean, it started the trilogy in the albums, but in my set list, it completes the trilogy of you know, World War II.
The scene.
Europe. Yeah. All right, anyway. After Where Eagles Dare, Flight of Icarus. Then The Trooper, which I know that's a staple anyway, but, you know, for me, that's part of my dream show.
Okay, I could live without it. Keep going.
The Trooper into To Tame a Land.
Nice. That was an early epic that they did before they started doing all the monumental epics. Right. I love it. I mean, the lyrics, the Dune lyrics also are excellent. So from there, we kind of go back in time a little bit. You know, no joke intended. From To Tame a Land, we go back to Killers. Then Prodigal Son. Nice ballad. Right. I mean, and that's probably the song you're least likely to ever hear, but it's a great song. I mean, I don't think we've ever played it live either. I don't recall seeing it in any of their set lists ever. Right. So it'd be a cool change of pace, and it's a great song. From Prodigal Son into one of the ultimate album closers, Drifter. Okay. And then closing out the Killers set of, you know, Killers, Prodigal Son, Drifter, and then Murderers in the Rue Morgue. Love it. Not even just because they're great songs, but that album is grossly neglected live. Every tour, aside from Wrathchild, and it's probably the most popular Iron Maiden shirt you see at all their concerts, is that album art. Right. Absolutely. They play the same song, and they play the same song from it every tour, aside from the early years tour, but that was 15 years ago, so geez, they got to bring those back again. Right, exactly, and that was primarily in Europe. I mean, you know, except for like one gig here. Right. And, you know, and Killers, every single song is worthy. I mean, they're not all masterpieces, but every song is worthy. Totally. And, I mean, you can't even say that about, you know, some of their other classics. Anyway, we digress. So from Murders in the Rue Morgue, into we're going to travel back forward in time to Infinite Dreams. Okay, that's a good one that they didn't play on the Seventh Son tour. Right, and then when they revisited it. Right. And it's, you know, I'm sure it's ballad E, but it's great. From that into Prophecy, also Seventh Son. I'm pretty sure it's a Murray song too, and not much of this stuff ever gets played live. Right, exactly. And then from there to Passchendaele, the one newer one on my whole set list. Okay. From that, we're going to do side B of Power Slave. So, I mean, Back in the Village. Right. Power Slave. Which I picked as well. That's in my choices. Yep. I mean, great song that's rarely ever heard. Then Power Slave. Never heard. I don't think they've ever played it live, actually. Yeah, I think you're right. So, yeah. And then, of course, The Rhyme and Ancient Mariner, which is, you know, that and Aces High are probably my number one and number two favorite Maiden songs. I mean, I know they get a lot of play live, but I mean, to me, they're just necessary. Okay. Pardon me again. Then, that's all yours? No, I got a couple more. Okay. So, go ahead. From that into not just Wrathchild, but Ides of March into Wrathchild. Okay. You know, they never do Ides of March, and you know, it's just a nice little touch to mix it up with Wrathchild.
closing out, not the whole set, closing out the first set, and after that is Loneliness of a Long Distance Runner.
Nice.
And Stranger in a Strange Land.
Which I picked for mine, too. That's one of them in there.
Yeah, I figure. And then, then they take a little break, and then for the encore, you got Moonchild.
Okay.
And then Number of the Beast, Run to the Hills, and then close everything out with Hallowed Be Thy Name.
Okay.
So yeah, there you go. I mean, we took a long time going through mine, but that's
okay. You got some goodies in it that are dusted off that they never play or they need to bring back.
Right, and some of the ones that I agree they've played a lot are the ones like The Trooper and of course Aces High. I just feel like those are songs that I would always require. If I was designing their set, these are songs I'd need to hear, even though I've heard them. So anyway, enough about me, man. Let's hear your set list.
Okay. Well, mine is focused on primarily everything from 80 to 92, just because they need to dust many of those off and play them. So I didn't pick anything from Brave New World on, because they've always focused on those songs with each of those album tours. So I started with Prowler as well, another one that you picked. Charlotte the Harlot with Acacia Avenue, because they're part of the same story.
Right.
And I don't think they've really ever played Charlotte. Maybe a handful of times. So that's got to, come back. Definitely Murders and Killers, but with Purgatory. So like a medley. Like a thematical medley, I think would be very cool for the three of them.
Yeah, and Purgatory is one that I considered, and you can't go wrong with it. It's such a great song.
Yeah, and they've never, that's been I think since the Killers tour, or maybe Number of the Beast is the last time they played that song. The Return of Flight of Icarus, that was a single, so I don't know how that doesn't come back more often.
Right.
And then from Peace of Mind, I picked Sun and Steel. I love that song. Very catchy, too.
Yeah, that's right. And you didn't pick Quest for Fire, so you're right.
No, that's actually the only filler I think that's on that album is Quest for Fire.
Right.
Then moving into Power Slave, Back in the Village, and Flash of the Blade.
Again, yes.
Another great one that's never been played live. Stranger in a Strange Land has to come back.
Yes.
And Alexander the Great's never been played, I don't think.
Yeah, I strongly consider that one for mine too. I mean, what a perfect epic.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Only the Good Die Young from Seventh Son. Because when they toured on that album, they played most of that album. So I figured I'd like to hear something from that album that they never play, so that was the one. Right,
that is an interesting choice. I mean, it is definitely a solid song. But yeah, it's an interesting choice.
No Prayer for the Dying. I picked either Fate's Warning or The Assassin, which I've recently rediscovered and, re-enjoy them again. And then Run Silent, Run Deep.
Yeah, and all three of those are actually solid. I mean, I'll admit it, I love Maiden, I don't love that album, but I like all three of those songs.
Yeah.
And
with Tail Gunner, like you picked.
Yeah, I did represent Tail Gunner, and I did consider Mother Russia. That's actually quite an excellent song.
Mm-hmm. So anything that they do from that album again would be nice to hear. It's been a long time.
Well, not anything, and they don't have to.
Well, almost anything. Okay, you're true. True. Almost. Let's say almost anything.
Yeah.
Then we got Fear of the Dark. Be Quick or Be Dead.
It's a great choice.
Yeah, it's been a long time since they've done that. And then The Fugitive, I think, is great.
And what I didn't think of from that album was also Childhood's End is a really, really good kind of obscure song.
Oh, okay. It's a good one.
That is your list.
That's all right. So that's all my prime choices I would have to hear. And then whatever they put in from the newer albums, it's fine. You do one from each of the newer albums. Even if they did one from the X Factor, like I could do Sign of the Cross again, or Man on the Edge is a nice upbeat, fast song. That would be cool. And then I would take one from Virtual 11, even though I call it virtual repetition, because those songs, God, those choruses go on forever and ever.
Yeah. I mean, no offense to Blaze Bailey. It's a bad album.
It's just what Harris was doing at the time. It was just repetition over and over again. But I would do Future Real again, or I think The Angel and the Gambler is good. Like the radio edit that they did to that song.
I don't know if I heard the radio edit.
Yeah, it was shorter, so I thought The Angel and the Gambler was a good one. Yeah, so that would be all my favorite choices to hear again, or things that need to be played that never get played.
From the more recent stuff, it's an old song now, but Wicker Man would be a good crowd kind of chant. Like, it would be a good fist bumper.
Just to bring it back, because I don't think they've done that probably since maybe that tour, maybe the one that followed it. So it's been a while.
And so a couple of things we got to point out to everyone out there. And like I said, I mean, feel free to tell us, where we're wrong and whatnot.
Right.
Be cool about it. But some of the staples that either one of us picked, the ones that you're pretty much guaranteed to hear at every Maiden show. We left out Fear of the Dark.
Because we don't need to hear it again.
Right, I mean, it's a good song. But right, it's like you said, it's like that. It's like spaghetti 10 nights in a row.
Right.
Iron Maiden, or at least off of my list, the song Iron Maiden.
Well, I can see why that has to be played. That's their namesake.
Sure, and I'm happy to hear it every time they play it, but at the same time, I'm also happy if they replace it with something else.
Right.
We've also left out 2 Minutes to Midnight.
Right, because that always rotates in and out.
I mean, it's kind of a staple, but yeah, you're right. I mean, of course, that was one of my first Maiden songs that I loved, but, I'm alright. I can replace it.
Yeah, and I could dump Last Child. I could dump Wasted Years. It's been several years that's been in, so that can go.
Yeah, Wasted Years is the other one that neither of us put, which is, again, that is a signature song for them. It's arguably their biggest single.
Yeah, but it's a great song, but I think the past 2 or 3 tours they've been doing it, so it's all good. I could do without it now.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it's, again, if we were to start talking about our top Maiden songs, I mean, it's a great song, but it's not even in my top 10. It's probably not my top 20 even.
Oh, wow. It definitely is for me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Again, that's not a knock. I mean, it's a great song. I'll go listen to it right now. And what a thrill was that to learn how to play that opening guitar part.
Right.
The opening riff on the high E string.
Exactly.
But I mean, so part of the reason why Rich and I are talking about this is something we talk about a lot offline, off pod. We're kind of frustrated with the repetition of the Maiden set lists over the past couple of years.
And we were saying how even though you're not completely happy with what Metallica's been doing with their live set, I was just comparing it to what they do, because every tour and then every city on every tour, they're always rotating in several songs from those first 4 albums, and you never know what you're going to get each night. So, one night you get No Remorse, another night you get Fight Fire with Fire, and then the following night you'll get maybe Whiplash and Damage Incorporated. It's all up for grabs, and that's what the Maiden needs to do with theirs. They have too many great songs from that era, like Metallica does, that needs to be swapped in and out every tour, almost every night.
Yeah, let's not talk about Metallica.
I'm not, but I think the comparison is pretty valid.
Right. No, and well, let me just clarify. I mean, you're definitely right. It's cool that Metallica digs up one of their, old classics, for a different city. That's also kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, on the one hand, it kind of sucks if your city doesn't get the song you wanted to hear. Like they played your favorite song in the city 2 nights ago. That kind of sucks.
True, but your night you might get something else really cool. So it's really, you're going to get something cool regardless.
Yeah, but I mean, my frustration with Metallica, the last concert that I saw Metallica was in 2017. It's different. It's different than my frustration with Maiden set lists.
Okay.
Metallica is a little bit too rooted in, the stuff that wasn't for me. I mean, when I saw them, I'm like, okay, this isn't for me.
Yeah, they've done, their later albums from Load, Reload, Metallica. There's, several radio singles that they had, so obviously they're going to be swapped in and out as well.
Right. Well, I mean, not even swapped in and out. Like, that's pretty much what the concert was. But regardless, that's fine. We're not talking about Metallica. So,
right.
So one thing, another thing, since Maiden, they kind of stick to that. And I saw them on their recent tour. I loved it. I mean, it was a great show and put on a great
Exactly.
Great stage presence as always.
Mm-hmm.
All those guys.
Yep.
But the stuff from the new album was a little bit tedious. I mean, the Red and the Black really stood out, but overall, the rest of the stuff, I was kind of thinking,
yeah,
they could have swapped this out for a classic, and I would have been happy.
Mm-hmm.
Even one of the classics that you say we're a little tired of, I would have been happy if they swapped it out and dropped in. I know there's the legal thing about how they'd be my name, but I would have been much happier to hear that.
Well, we said this that a lot of the songs like what they did have been rotating in and out. So the last tour, Power Slave, and Wrathchild, and Wasted Years are still back in there again from a couple of tours ago. So nothing really has changed.
Right. And so, if you're an Iron Maiden cover band out there, especially, the Iron Maidens, a band I'm dying to see. I've never seen them. I've been to Arizona and I've just missed them. I hope you all are listening. I hope you're listening. If you are, then come to Arizona again. I can't wait to see you guys.
Yeah, half of their set list is totally different than what Maiden usually does.
Right. I mean, they love the band, and they're just one of the better. They're not a novelty gimmick. It's not all. They're not about TNA. They're great musicians who, they happen to all be women, but they're great musicians who play Maiden songs.
Mm-hmm.
But anyone else, like a friend of mine actually used to be in he was telling me he used to be in a band where Still Life was one of their staples, and that's
right.
Neither one of us put that in our list, but I mean that's a
I'll take it.
Yeah,
Totally
that's an yeah. They can even do the.
Do we even know what that means? That's a new for niece to the dude. I don't even know what he's saying there.
Yeah, well, it's a backward message, It's something about Satan or kill yourself or something.
Oh, really?
No, I'm kidding. I'm
the stereotype of these bands in the 80s. So.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I don't know what else I have to say about this. I think I would love to. I'm looking forward to the concert anyway. I'm looking forward to Metallica. Jesus, I'm looking forward to bringing. Yeah, see, you got Metallica on my brain. I blame you. Rick.
Wow, I only threw it out there once, and that was it.
Well, actually, while we're at a Metallica cover band, play the old stuff and play it right. Play the Four Horsemen, play it right. But that's a different podcast.
Yeah.
One's about the Maiden set list we'd love to see, and like I said, you out there, comment on this post. If it's a YouTube video, make a comment, or if it's another blog, make a comment. I'd love to hear what you think. Anything we left out, or
maybe clues to give us some ideas on what's in the artwork for in the stained glass, that we might get some hints as to what's actually in there, because I can't figure out half of those images and the symbols and what's going on.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
could be any number of songs.
Right. Yeah. Derek Riggs probably doesn't even know. But so well, I guess that's probably. I guess we're ready to wrap then, right? I think we've kind of covered what we wanted on our Maiden Dream set list.
Yeah, and then we'll be back with another one where we're going to be talking about the Halloween reunion tour, which we're both ecstatic about.
Yes, we're both gone ape with Pink Bubble.
Screaming, Pink Bubble's going ape.
Well, yeah, let's save it. Oh, shit. Let's save that for the Halloween show.
Mm-hmm.
One more thing that we should have talked about the Maiden set list was, everything we were talking about was bearing the current lineup of the band in mind. So those 6 guys.
Exactly.
Which is no disrespect to Blaze Bayley or Clive Burr or or anybody. Well, of course, if we really want to go into the fantasy realm, then sure, a healthy.
Portiano.
Right, exactly. You got a healthy, awesome. Right. Well, I mean, you got Clive Burr in there for Run to the Hills. Healthy, young Clive Burr.
Yeah, but at this stage, unfortunately he's passed. But if Paul Di'Anno was in good shape and healthy, and it'd be nice to see him on stage, but that's not going to happen.
Well, right. I mean, the Clive Burr thing obviously is not even possible, and the Paul Di'Anno thing, it's not really reality. I mean,
Yeah,
but
he's not in good shape.
He's not he's not really in game shape. But since we're just kind of fantasizing about the ultimate Maiden show, you got a healthy Paul Di'Anno up there for at least some of his songs, or maybe doing like what Halloween did. Halloween has their three
vocals. Yep, exactly.
So I would talk about screaming like a
little schoolgirl.
Little girl, I'd be screaming like a little girl if you had Paul Di'Anno and Bruce Dickinson at the top of their game doing Rothschild together.
Totally agree.
And Paul Di'Anno doing Phantom of the Opera. I'm about to scream like a little girl right now thinking about that.
Awesome.
So, all right, man. Well, this has been great.
It has.
Thanks for bearing with me and doing take two on this, Reg.
That's cool. I think it came out as good as the first one, if not better.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, cheers.